Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Saint Artist. I'm gonna do my cheek and we're gonna talk about texture. So I'm gonna walk you through how I put on my Seint Makeup cream-based 3D foundation, highly pigmented, less is more, good makeup. And I'm gonna put it on my face and I'm gonna talk about the texture, pores, under eye puffiness, acne breakouts. Texture is texture. You can't make a mountain a plain, correct? You can't take that mountain range and make it a plane. It's just not gonna happen. So same with your face. Texture is texture. You can drink all the water, you can do all of the anti-puffiness massaging, but you will have texture because your skin is a texture. When you get a hormonal breakout, it's just accentuating that texture. So I'm gonna put my makeup on and I'm gonna use the blend brush and I'm gonna go into Aspen and I'm gonna take this redness that I have discoloration here, I have a hormonal breakout here and here, and I'm gonna take this gray tone and I'm just going to mute it down. Now this is just changing the tone. You can still see the problematic area, and so it's just muting the tone. And what I'm doing is I'm making this nice and big because right in this area, I do also have large pores. I'm not filling them in. If I'm filling them in, I'm gonna be stretching them out. I'm going to be clogging them, but this does help camouflage when I put my makeup on top. I'm also gonna go into my suede lip liner and I'm just gonna camouflage this discoloration. So discoloration is very easy to camouflage, but it is not a texture. So my melasma, my hyperpigmentation, my age spots, my sunspots, whatever you want to call them, they're flat, flush, so I'm just camouflaging around it. And that's it. I'm not going to address my breakouts or my texture as if they're there. I am going to take a little bit of Demi and I'm just going to correct my darkness, which will not be helping with my texture, but it's not going to be accentuating it. So again, this is very much like a color correcting video, but I want to show the difference between, I am going to grab a little bit of Demi at the end because there's a difference between texture and discoloration. So I am going to take my detail brush and I'm going to tap in between my two highlights. It's Amber and Candlelit at the moment, and I am going to very carefully apply my main highlight to this lower part of my face, and then when I get to my texture, I'm going to stipple over it and then I'm going to bring it up. So this is going to cover the color of my discoloration, okay? But as you can see now, the color is gone. The texture of my breakout and this discoloration. So here's a really good example. This is texture, this is discoloration. So I have my main highlight on, I've evened out my skin tone here, brought it down, I've stippled over this breakout and up, and over my large pores. So this is a good even skin tone. I'm gonna stay with this brush and I'm gonna go into my contour here and I'm gonna go above my natural shadow, but it does run on to that texture of my breakout. These are some pretty opportune breakouts. Can I say that? This is in a low traffic makeup area. This is in a high traffic makeup area. When I say put your makeup on as if you don't have a breakout, I mean it, because I can very easily really work to continue to cover, but likely my traditional coverage will cover the color just fine. So if I put it all on now, it's going to cake and accentuate the texture that's there. These bumps are gonna be here at the end. Let's be clear, my puffiness right here, this is covered with makeup. It's still there. You cannot erase texture, but we can try to camouflage it the best that we can. So I'm gonna go in with my bronzer here and I'm just gonna go above that contour. I like a warm cheek. I'm gonna smile. I am kind of purposefully keeping it mainly above this blemish as to not pile more makeup on top. So I'm gonna put mainly right here and I'm gonna blend it down very nicely. Okay. We're gonna go into my blush. I'm using Frenchie because Frenchie's not gonna pull redness through. Now we remember this was quite red. So Frenchie lip color, lip and cheek right here. I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna focus this right on, I'm gonna smile. I'm mature, I'm 42 and I still get hormonal breakouts. I didn't think that would happen. No one told me I'd still be getting zits in my 40s, but I am. And so I'm just tapping this over my cheeks. I smile because as you mature, you lose volume. But I'm just gonna go right where I like my blush and I'm tapping it over. And I like keeping it nice and neutral. If you wanna add pink, You can certainly do that, but don't put it on that texture area. You can just put it on top. Okay, I'm gonna switch to this small end and I'm gonna go into my brightening highlight. So this right here is a texture, and the way I like to camouflage it is I start down here, but I have pores right in this apple area. So I'm coming between the two, and then I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna bring it into that inner corner, and then I'm gonna focus on my orbital bone and I'm gonna bring this up. Pulling this up just gives me some lift, and that's why I put it there. It's what makes me happy. So I do it. I don't do fillers. So my texture on my forehead from my lines and all of that, that's there. I also don't do fillers. I don't do the eyebrow lift with Botox. Please don't tell me I need to. I know you mean well, but it's not nice. I'm not gonna do it. So we're gonna pop this up and we're gonna do that. Okay. And it looks nice, but I still have texture here. By focusing it on my orbital bone and then bringing it up, I'm still getting coverage that covers the darkness and brightness. It's gonna make me look more awake, a little bit more youthful. The texture will always be there, but by bringing it out past the texture is what helps to camouflage it. Kind of like melasma when I go around it and I try to mimic the color and camouflage it out with that suede. It's the same thing with my puffiness. So I have my texture here, and I have my discoloration right here. And I can just take whatever's left on this brush because it brought my brightness down just a little more than I wanted to. Okay, my makeup's on. It looks nice, but again, I have texture here and I have discoloration here. This is covered. This is all very much, I covered my discoloration here. This one is still showing. This texture though, that's covered but showing because it's texture. That doesn't mean I need to put more makeup on because I can't make up away a texture. Right here, it could probably use a little more help. So I'm gonna grab my blend brush. I'm gonna go into Amber and I'm putting on, I mean, you don't even see that it's there. And I'm just gonna tap over that pimple. And then before it's blended out, I'm gonna go into some setting powder. You wanna tap it off and we're gonna mix it together, and it makes it a bit more tacky. Anytime you add powder to a product, it's going to change the consistency. So this is going to help with making it a little more tacky, and it's going to stay. And then I'm just going to blend out the edge like that, go onto that fluffy end, pat, pat, pat. But this is still good. My discoloration is showing. We're going to go into our Demi. I only Demi over top if I need to. This does not bother me, but for the sake of you guys and showing texture and discoloration, we are here. I don't understand this. So if you're looking for a Demi expert, I ain't it. But we're gonna work this in reverse. I know from playing with my Demi colors that the color I want is R01. So it's red, orange, it's lead with red, which makes it more pink. This color right here is OR1. You would think they'd be the same, but they're not because this one is lead with orange, which makes it more peachy. I'm gonna grab R01, a more pinky tone, because this pinky tone that's brown and dark is technically green. This is why I don't understand color science. That don't look green to me, but brown's not on the color wheel. So they say brown makes mud, makes green. Do you see how somebody like me or you would get confused? Find somebody else for Demi. I got a girl. Her name is Lisa. I will send you her way. Just tell me in the comments that you want her. Okay, I'm gonna go into that R01 and I'm gonna use the spot brush and we're gonna tap into this. And I'm putting that much on. And we are going to, I'm gonna use a mirror, go over, it's spot treating. Only the darkest point am I going over. I'm not going around as in camouflaging. We are spot treating this color. I'm gonna flip it to the fluffy end and then I'm gonna tap it. Now I like to tap it out and it's gone. And then I go into that setting powder. You barely see it. And I tap on top of it to set it. That's my makeup, that's texture. But I want you to very clearly see my face. I'm pretty zoomed in. I'm also leaning across because I really wanted you to see this. I have pores. The size of my pores have not gotten smaller. They're there. Skin is a texture. And my under eyes, I still have my crow's feet. I still have my fine lines and I have some puffiness. I have camouflaged it and it looks very nice. At the beginning, it didn't look as good, but my redness on my acne is broken down and it's covered, but my texture is still there. My makeup looks good. It looks really good, okay? I really like it. My texture is there. There's nothing we can do about it. I really should have sprayed that up and not right at my face, but live and learn. I'm gonna take a fluffy end of my brush. I'm gonna go into my setting powder. This is where people make a lot of mistakes. Do not bake your skin if you have texture. If you have large pores, do not bake. If you have an acne spot, do not bake it. It's not going to do it any favors. You're going to go on the perimeter of your face and then you're gonna work in, and that's gonna set the makeup with the least amount of powder. Even if you don't see, if you've put powder on and you don't see it, that doesn't mean it isn't there. It's translucent for a reason. And when you shake it out, tap it down, it's going to work its way down the bristles and you can tap it in. This is going to give your makeup longevity over those spots. If you're a face toucher, your makeup's gonna move, your makeup's gonna come off. It's makeup, not magic. Your makeup is also not gonna take your texture away because again, it's makeup, not magic. I don't know how many times I gotta say that to people, but I get a lot of messages from people that say, how do I get rid of my pores? You don't. You don't. You learn to love them because skin, we've gotten so far into, and I hate to preach on this, so far into these filters and seeing these magazine flawless finishes. That's not real skin. That is not real skin. Those mascara commercials were, that's extensions. But this is good looking makeup, and my makeup covered my colors. My texture is real. My texture is there and I like it. It's okay. No, I don't like having a zit, but this looks better than it did at the beginning. Okay, I got very preachy. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, that's it. I've said it. I have oily skin, so I used Urban Decay De-Slick. It's for oily skin. What is it? Oil Control. De-Slick, Urban Decay, or Charlotte Tilbury is really great. I just don't have Charlotte Tilbury on. That is my first choice. Anyways, that's Seint Makeup. Message me for a color match and have a great day.